Shit! What the hell is going on here? Am I too early? Or are the Russians late? Dear President Putin, I'm a 62-year-old ski bum, and I've written and photographed this book, Skiing Around the World, which I'm sending to you together with this letter. I've skied in 61 countries and more than 500 ski resorts, including Krasnaya Polyana. But I missed the opportunity to ski with you last time I was there.
Hey, excuse me. Hello? Is Mr. Putin home? Do you hear me?
As the price of accommodation in Krasnaya has gone up beyond the budget of a ski bum, it would be very nice if you could host me in your dacha near the slopes and show me around some of the new Olympic runs that have been developed since 2007. To return the favor, I would be happy to give you a few lessons in powder skiing technique. I hope this plan sounds to you like a fair and interesting proposition, and look forward to hear back from you in the near future. I should have got a better picture. I look like I'm in the KGB here. Or maybe that would get me into more places. What do you think?
President Putin never responded to my letter. Well, from the looks of things, he's been pretty busy. But I'm lucky that I have my Russian powder buddy Oleg to ski with.
Oh man. Mwah. Great to see you.
6 years. I don't have hair, you see? Do you remember the ring in my ear?
I wanted to return to Sochi and Krasnaya Polyana to make my own investigation about what was really happening there. Of course, I was also hoping to get another taste of Russian powder. But I must admit that I was fearful that I wouldn't recognize the place.
So many lives were sacrificed, but nothing was achieved.
The road is still there?
I am. So this is the new road. Very modern looking bridge.
I was going to Krasnaya Polyana without much enthusiasm. I thought this ski area would have no appeal to me anymore. And the enormous construction of Olympic venues would kill that one time very adventurous place.
Atmosphere would go from here, locals, you know, small accommodation places for, you know, 20 bucks a day.
This is an amazing place. We were here in Krasnaya Polyana 6 years ago, and there was nothing on this particular location other than an old sauna, which they put here because it was like out in the country in the middle of nowhere. And now one of the Russian oligarchs, a fellow named Vladimir Putin, who is, according to Forbes, the 5th richest man in Russia, he has built this entire area. It looks like any modern city that has been transported from downtown in the city and placed into the mountain.
How much does it cost for one day?
For this day, 7,000 rubles. 4,300 rubles.
It's 5,800 rubles. 5,839 rubles per night.
I finally found a place to stay that suited a ski bum. 25 euros a night, a wonderful family with Andrei and Marina who host us. A breakfast like this was just a bonus, no extra charge from Russian friendliness. This is a wonderful way to go if you're going to come to Krasnaya Polyana.
Thank you.
Пожалуйста. Угощайтесь.
Oh man! Oleg, it's powder everywhere. This is unbelievable. This is a powder paradise here.
I have to go get my skis.
Cold War! Renewing the Cold War! No! This is for the wall. Security is really important for the Olympics. After what happened in '72 in Munich, they certainly don't want anything like that to ever happen again.
It's all set for us.
They felt really excited that, you know, to see this where the Olympics was going to be.
Лыжные центры, трамплины и трассы.
Putin dreams of creating a kind of winter Disneyland for skiers, and he hopes to inspire his Russian brethren with the belief that Mother Russia and her people can not only pull off the successful completion of the Olympic venues, but also mesmerize the world with a spectacle of sports for the ages.
И бобслее, сноуборде и фристайле.
Krasnaya is actually not very well suited climatically for hosting the Olympic Games. Because of its proximity to the Black Sea, it always receives a lot of precipitation, and its southerly latitude often brings warm weather and rain, even during the heart of winter. Oh man, they said this was one of the worst snow years they've ever had in Krasnaya Polyana. And here we are on the 24th of March. There's about 80 centimeters of new powder, and it's amazing. We skied the bottom section of the Olympic downhill in sleet, fog, and slush at about 14 kilometers per hour. Next February, the competitors will be hurling down the slope at about 140 kilometers per hour. Hopefully the conditions will be better for them. Was I 125th place? Along with the Mongolian team? One thing that's really interesting is now, while it's dumping with snow and the season is almost over, they've got the snow guns working. What's the reason for that? They want to be 100% sure that next year for the Olympics that there will be enough snow. So they're making snow now, and they're going to cover a lot of the snow with kind of insulation blankets to keep it here until next year. So the season starts with some preserved snow from 2013. You don't want to fall on a day like this, or you dig yourself into a hole that you can't get out of. But preparing for the opposite scenario, too much snow, is not as easy, and yet more likely if one is to look at the meteorological history of the region. During our visit, it snowed and rained consistently for the entire week, without a trace of sunshine. The upper slopes were riddled with fog. This sort of weather pattern is not uncommon, and that of course is what has endeared the ski resort to powder hounds. In the Winter Olympics, however, a firm, hard piste is required for the Alpine events, and good visibility for racers can be a matter of life and death. Nobody is hoping for a powder dump.
Ari.
Yes.
Where is Chief?
Казахстан. На каждом мини-курорте и снег вот.
This is all new snow here.
И упаковало ветром.
And it's really packed because
Вот.
of wind.
Погода может быть, конечно, обильные осадки, конечно, не успеют подготовить трассы. Если было бы много снега, было бы внизу достаточно, вторую, там бы открыли, как бы нижнюю часть бы открыли. А здесь было 100% опасно. Просто вчера это все двигалось.
If the weather gods are not kind to President Putin, the Olympics might not be completed until spring. So this is shashlik, a couple different sauces you can have it with. Onions, vodka goes with every Russian meal. Right? And here's something typical Russian as well, caviar. A number of Russians with whom we spoke expressed concern about the local lack of knowledge and experience in the service industries.
We don't have a strong idea about services.
And here, if tomorrow I need to find some stuff here, it's difficult.
They were doubtful whether their countrymen would be able to offer a level of service during the Olympics that will meet the satisfaction of an international clientele.
It's a pretty nice facility, a nice restaurant here, but like so many places in the world nowadays, there's music pollution.
Fortunately, Krasnaya Polyana was still largely intact in the same charming, ramshackle way that had endeared me to the village 6 years earlier.
So this is the Krasnaya that I love.
I was relieved. There was still a ski bum atmosphere to Krasnaya. Certainly some of the local homes had been torn down and replaced by new modern structures. And a sort of suburb of new homes had been put up on the outskirts of town as well.
Riding community is also in place. We meet at cozy bar Trikini and have good friendly chat. Then we can go to the private house party and sing our hearts away. Oof, I like that. Big opportunities for riding, with new infrastructure in place and good old Krasnaya, full of taste of former free-ride camaraderie.
I think it's for the future. It will be one of the best places especially for athletes, for sports and for tourists also.
Это очень хороший, да, я считаю.
He said it's one of the best course.
В плане инфраструктуры очень огромный скачок.
He said about infrastructure. Too many deals, we do too much for a short time.
Putin did not get to where he is without being clever. From the outset, he had planned for a handful of his oligarch buddies to foot much of the bill for the Olympic buildup. He pressured or cajoled his wealthy friends to invest $25 billion, perhaps with the promise of future favors in the form of government contracts.
So you think the Cold War starts again inside on the hockey ice? When the wars can be fought on the athletic field instead of on the battlefield. I think that's what the Olympics is all about.
Girls have legs like tree trunks. This is where the speed skating is going to happen.
Steady, go!
This is about as close as a ski bum will ever get to a podium in the Winter Olympics. But I can really imagine what it must feel to be standing here in front of a huge audience applauding. Where was the most? This is the Lance Armstrong technique of passing through doping control. We hope that the athletes participating in the Sochi Olympics will not resort to such methods. Hamburgers, French fries, hot dogs, pizza. There's a lot of people waiting to interview me after my gold medal. You know, can't we get this over and done with? This is just one of the anti-doping centers here at the Olympic Village. Here's where they're going to make sure that everybody is playing fair. No. The bad news is that such a quickly thrown together project of this scale does not come without scarring the environment and inconveniencing the local population in some ways.
Crazy.
Trees were being logged to build pists, mountainsides were being bulldozed for roads and buildings, and lift towers were beginning to dot the landscape above the valley. Traffic jams were a part of daily life. And one local resident complained, "My town looks like a war zone." In speaking with the local people, we certainly heard as many different opinions as there were people. This is a great thing for the region, said one man as he emerged from an afternoon swim in the Black Sea. We already have a new airport here in Sochi because of the games, and now we're getting new roads and a new railroad. This will benefit everybody. Meanwhile, many other local people are not of the same opinion, and some will no longer even swim at the local beaches because of the chemical pollution that has resulted because of all the Olympic construction. We also spoke with fishermen who all agreed that they were catching far fewer fish than before all this commotion began.
Fewer fish. Yeah, a lot fewer.
It was unclear whether their poor results were because of the building of the new port or because of the pollution, or both. According to reports, about 2,000 people were relocated to clear the way for the Olympic Park in Sochi. Apparently, they were treated in a fair manner. They were offered a choice of money, a newly built home, or the possibility of choosing a comparable home to the one that was demolished, which would be purchased on their behalf.
Presidentti Putin on antanut potkut Venäjän olympiakomitean varapuheenjohtajalle. Putin arvostelee varapuheenjohtaja Sochin talviolympialaisten mäkihyppykeskuksen rakennustöiden viivästymisestä ja olympialaisten kustannusten paisumisesta. Kisoista tulee kaikkien aikojen kalleimmat. Kustannusarvio on melkein 40 miljardia euroa.
I wonder what this is going to look like less than 1 year from now. This is supposed to be finished.
I think they will finish it.
Еще месяц, два, три.
2-3 months.
Еще более будем работать.
Может больше. Maybe 4 дня.
Нет.
Decades is happening like this. Well, that's kind of the way things have happened in Russia in the last decade or so. So it's amazing the progress. You just in 17, 18 months what happened there.
It will be okay. It will be finished in before the Olympics very well, but
or not. In whose pockets will that go? Will it go to one or two oligarchs? I worried that if Sochi and Krasnaya Polyana won the Olympic bid, that the profit from the event would only benefit a small handful of oligarchs. 6 years later, I'm happy to report that this is not really the case. 560,000 jobs have been created as a result of the big event, and once the construction dust has settled, a state-of-the-art infrastructure will have replaced the crumbling Soviet-era framework, and that will certainly be to the benefit of everybody in the region.
20, 30, 40 было утром 20, вечером 30, а уже на следующий день 100 тысяч.
Это когда объявили, да?
Да.
And finally, the land values in the region seem to have reached their peak right after the announcement was made in 2007 that Sochi had won the Olympic bid. Since that time, land prices have dropped appreciably. All these facts make it very questionable whether the investment of Mr. Putin and others who have gambled on the future of Krasnaya Polyana will ever bear any real fruit.